Hey folks, welcome back to another Omastar video. So today we're going to talk about the new egg event, right, with the rock and ground type egg event, which it only seemed like the last one only ended like a few days ago, so they immediately, kept it going with the rock and ground one, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, right? Obviously, good thing. So let's talk about them. So the new ones, we're not gonna talk about the old ones, but the new ones that we got in this event is egg Marowak, ground type, obviously. Egg Sandslash and Omanite slash Omastar, right? So yeah, let's talk about them. So the two shinies are Striker Marowak and Tech Omastar, if I remember correctly, right? So those two should be the shinies. So let's talk about them. So starting off, let's talk about Marowak. Let's start with support, as we usually do. So, support Marowak at 5-star, max potential. Well, not max potential, max affinity. It's not looking at max potential. That's not a lot of people do that, right? But at least max affinity, not super hard to do. In terms of stats, 600 HP, 200 on both defenses. Isn't too crazy nowadays, I don't think, right? In terms of the kit, you have Mud Slap, which is nice to have, right? -1 accuracy and 1 gauge spam pull, right? X attack all and stand together, which is speed and defense. And your passive first aid 2, revenge boost 1, headstrong. It's okay, I guess. Speed 216. It does have a 1 gauge spam pull. You also have revenge boost as well. You take a few hits, but again, you only have like +2 defense and like nothing else. You don't have like heals other than first aid 2, right? Not the worst, but I also don't think overall not incredibly useful either, right? So that's support Marowak. That's not a Marowak. Here's Tech Marowak. Oh, Striker Marowak. Wait, wasn't it support first? Anyways, whatever, it doesn't matter. So this is shiny, right? This is the shiny. And first off, looking at its stats, 581 HP is rather decent HP for a Striker, I guess, right? Also, like, not like super crazy high, but it's solid for a Striker. 345 attack, which is not terrible, and 292 speed, which is also not terrible, right? So in terms of moves, you still have that Mud Slap, you have the X attack, you have Race You, which is +1 crit, +2 speed, and then you have Bulldoze, which lowers the opponent's speed by 1 stat rank. And then you have Headstrong, super duper effective 1, and Surging Sand 2. So this is kind of like a mini Cynthia, sort of, right? I mean, if you look at Cynthia, where is it? Garchomp, right? If you look at Garchomp, it's kind of like a mini Garchomp, because you you have attack here as well. You have like speed buffs, crit buffs. You have a 3 gauge. Let's put 1 on a 5, because I think yeah. Oh, or we could just do both 5 out of 5, right? And then you have like a 3 gauge ground type AoE move, and then in Cynthia's case you have Surging Sand 5 in comparison to Surging Sand 2 plus super duper effective 1. So yeah, this thing's kind of like Cynthia, if like it's like a mini Garchomp. If Garchomp didn't have a grid and was bad. This is basically, because like the thing is, right, Bulldoze is just nowhere as good as Earthquake in comparison, because like Earthquake 120 power, well Bulldoze is like 96, because Bulldoze also debuffs your opponent's speed by 1 guaranteed, so that does take away from its BP quite a bit, right, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a mini Garchomp if Garchomp didn't have a grid and was terrible. So I mean, it's an okay unit if you really just don't have anything for it, I guess, or for ground type. But yeah, it's definitely not as good as Garchomp. I mean, not that you need me to tell you that it's not as good as Garchomp, right? So it's something, if you like shiny Marowak, you could invest into it. Like, again, it's not terrible, right? It's just not very good. Anyways, it's one of the, I would say it's one of the better Eggmons, at least. Anyways, but that doesn't say much because the Eggmons are not very great. Tech Marowak over here. As usual, good speed. Defenses are not insanely bad, but also not, you know, too great this day and age. Mud Slap, X Speed, Race You. Alright, just got a lot of speed buffs. And then Bulldoze as well. And then Headstrong, First Aid 2, Stamina Reserve 2. So this is, alright, if Striker Marowak was a worse Garchomp, then Tech Marowak is a worse Striker Marowak. Like, this is basically just Striker Marowak, except you lose like 100 attack. And you lose all your multipliers. And have like First Aid instead. And have some speed. It's basically Striker Marowak, but like can't do damage. And can't do anything like super interesting either. Like, you exchange all that damage for like a bit more speed and like First Aid too. Stamina Reserve was just like, who cares? Who cares about Stamina Reserve? Yeah, Tech Marowak is terrible. Just use Striker Marowak instead. Even if you want to use like, even if you want to use Marowak for like the speed debuff and like accuracy debuff, just use Striker Marowak. This guy's funny. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about the other Eggmon that has a shiny. It's not support. It's tech, right? Tech Omastar. Omastar. Anyways, stats same as, you know, the Striker Marowak, right? So you have Ancient Power here, which is Power X Special Attack, Race You, and Hydro Pump. This makes it instantly much better as unit, because they made it a water type striker rather than a rock type striker. So you have super duper effective 1, power reserve 2. Okay, the passives are terrible. Passives suck, but you have Hydro Pump, which is a very, very powerful move. So it's usable. Okay, I take it back. It's not like usable because, you know, everyone has like Palkia, so it instantly makes all the other, you know, water type damage unusable. But it's okay. Just Hydro Pump's just very, very powerful. But again, it doesn't have like any multipliers or whatever. But again, you have Rain and you have Hydro Pump, so it's okay. It's not bad for an Eggmon standard. It's not bad. It's still bad overall, but for an Eggmon, it's not bad. But yeah. Anyways, moving on to the support. Omastar. Omelet Star. That was terrible. Anyways, the support version is again same stats there. Right, Rock Throw, X Defense All, Hang in there, and Ancient Power. This is really weird because usually they'd have like the first move the same. So like if they wanted to give it Rock Throw, it would be like first move is like Ancient Power, but like the fourth one's Rock Throw. But they usually have like the 1 gauge spams in the first slot anyways. No, okay, none of that is like actually irrelevant. So let's actually talk about the unit. First Aid 2, Revenge Boost. Okay, this thing's useless. It's like okay, you buff your team's defense. Good for you. Who cares? Do not care. Do not care. There's so much better units that could buff defense, right? Whether it be Steelix, Torterra, Siniso Blue, or even like Roxanne, right? That also give you some other stuff offensively. Like, what are you doing? Why would you ever use this over any of the other ones? Anyways, moving on to the shiny one, which is the tech. Almost. Do I have to do the stats all the time? Like, they're all the same. Moving on. All right. Rock Throw, X Attack on my mark, and Rock Slide. And then you have Escape Artist, Foul Fighting, Aggravation 1. So it's kind of like a Grant. I think I like Grant better. Although I don't like either of them, honestly. And again, this is the shiny one. Yeah, I don't like this. I mean, I love Omastar's Pokemon, but I think this kid's not very good. Like, here's the thing. AoE Flinch, I meme with it sometimes, but, like, objectively, AoE Flinch is not very good. Because, like, there's a few things about AoE Flinch. Because, first thing is, AoE Flinch is, like, AoE damage. The damage, like, you know how, like, AoE damage gets, like, cut in half, right? AoE Flinch also has, like, the flinch chances cut in half. Which sucks. And you can't, and you can't, like, precisely or accurately, you know, choose who you're trying to flinch, because generally you want to know who you're flinching, and with AoE Flinch, you can't do that. It's, you know, it's random, right? To my knowledge, I don't think there's an 100% AoE Flincher, right? Because that would require an insane amount of multipliers on your flinch chance, right? So yeah. Not a fan. Like, if you're gonna flinch, if you for some reason want to run flinch, it's just better to run, like, single target flinch, right? I mean, like, it's fine if you're fighting, like, Legendary Arena where there's, like, one unit, or most there are Legendary Arenas with multiple, but, like, most ones are just one, which I guess you could throw this in there, right? But, like, outside of that, I really find a hard time ever finding a place to use this thing, sadly. So there's that. Anyways, moving on to Sandslash. I love Sandslash, man. Such an underrated Pokemon. Although I don't care that much about Alolan Sandslash, but I really like Cantonian Sandslash. Anyways, again, the stats are same. Let's not go over them. Dire Hit. This is the Striker one. Dire Hit, Race You, and Drill Run. Drill Run! It's like Stone Edge, but, like, worse. Okay. Crit Strike 2. This is... Yeah, this is, like, a worse, like, ground Olivia. Again, if you want to use this, like, over Hapu or whatever, then, like, sure. But yeah, it's like, yeah, this thing is just like a worse ground Olivia if Olivia also didn't have a grid, like, thus no Sync Nuke. Cause, like, where is it Lycanroc, where's L? Oh my god, there's so many Pokemon now. Right, Lycanroc over here, right? Like, Stone Edge, like, straight up has, like, more power than this thing. And Stone Edge's power is, like, overall, like, terrible, right? Because, like, the thing with Stone Edge, what they put into consideration is it has low accuracy, right? So at least, like, it, or very, very low accuracy. So, like, at least it gets, like, a bit of a buff there, but, like, over here it's like your accuracy's not that bad. It's only, like, -5 accuracy, so, like, you have, like, so many more, like, upsides that they consider. So, like, the BP is, like, so much lower, and, like, Stone Edge is, like, bad, and this is even worse. And Olivia also has, like, 400 something attack, and this guy is, like, again, at not max potential, at, like, max affinity, it's, like, almost, like, 100 less. Okay, you do have, like, Crit Strike 2, right? You do have Crit Strike 2, like, still, bro. Okay. All right, moving on. Sandslash, Tech Sandslash. We have Mud Slap, X-Speed on my mark, Sand Tomb. Is our first Sand Tomb unit in the game that we could use? Natural Remedy and Pinpoint Entry. Do not care. Do not care. I mean, if you want to trap something, just use, like, Seviper or Tangela if you have Tangela, right? If you don't, then, like, Seviper, right? Cause, like, it's not that good. I don't know what else to say. It's just like if you, like, even if you don't want to poison anyone, you just want to trap for the sake of trapping, like, there's Wallace, which is much better. And even, like, trapping for the sake of trapping, Tangela and Seviper are probably... Oh, I was looking at the wrong page. are probably still better because like Survivor has like gradual heals, right, and all that stuff, and Tangela has like, you know, all that extra stuff that it has on the grid, as well as like Poketrap as well. Yeah, this thing's not very nice either, sadly. Last one. This. Wait, did we skip Support Sandslash? Oh, I think we skipped Support Sandslash. Anyways, Support Sandslash, X Speed All, Strike Together, and First Aid 2, Quick Cure. Striker Sandslash, or it's not Striker, Support Sandslash is not terrible, I guess, right? You can max out speed, which is always good to have. Always good to have someone who can max out speed. And attack only +2, which is fine, because, again, a lot of physical units have X attack, right? At least +4 attack, you max it out. Support Sandslash is not terrible. If you really, really need it, if you don't have, like, a, you know, Hilbert or something, right? You could definitely go for this. Yeah, Support Sandslash is not terrible. Yeah, no, nothing to trash on here. So, anyways, that's it for this one, I guess. Hope y'all enjoy it. Good luck with your egg hatchings again. As much as I don't, you know, feel any of these are like amazing or whatever, I do like hatching shiny Pokemon. Even though I also don't like a lot of these shinies. I guess Omastar shiny is not terrible, but I just enjoy getting surprised by stuff. Anyways, have fun, folks, and I'll see you guys in the next one.